So yesterday, the Dallas Cowboys put up a very embarrassing performance at home against the Detroit Lions. And I want to share a clip with you from earlier today on Get Up where Dan Orlovksy talks about his thoughts regarding this game, his thoughts regarding the Dallas Cowboys. And this is on ESPN Get Up this morning.
The Cowboys lost at home by 40. And the most outrageous thing was Jerry Jones saying he was shocked by what happened yesterday.
Why?
If anyone knows football and has paid any attention to these two teams this season, you saw how this game was going to go. That's why it was easy to pick the Lions and pick the Lions one-sided. The Cowboys do nothing well offensively outside of the quarterback to CeeDee Lamb occasionally making plays. They can't protect. They can't run the football. They can't stop the run. They've been absolutely atrocious at home. They've had crucial turnovers in the red zone situations. What's that, 3 in the last 2 weeks that have taken points off the board? The Lions are by far the more dominant football team. And for Jerry Jones, I'm being legit here, to sit there and say that what he saw was shocking tells me that he has no pulse of his football team. He has no pulse of who his teams are going to be playing against.
So you're talking about basically you're talking about the talent, right? You're talking about the players on the field, the pieces, the chess pieces, if
Greeny,
you will.
When this team got boat raced by the Packers in the playoffs last year, for them to run it back and to think that this was going to be a playoff football team talent-wise tells me that they've completely lost vision of what's needed to win in the NFL.
All right, so, I agree with a lot of what Dan Orlovsky had to say there. And I think that when you look at the way the Cowboys ended the season, losing the playoffs as they have time and time again, the big question was, do you pay Dak Prescott? And, of course, they decided to give him $60 million per year. I think he's a good quarterback. But so far, after getting paid $60 million per year, Dak Prescott has not been very good. I don't think there's a lot of help around him outside of CeeDee Lamb. Jalen Tolbert has looked pretty good, with Brandon Cooks being out a little bit. But the Cowboys' running game is the worst in the NFL when it comes to rush yards per play. They haven't been very good when it comes to their defense, 30th in points scored allowed total. So they have a terrible defense. They can't run the ball. Dak Prescott has made a lot of poor decisions, 8 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. He currently has the 25th passer rating in the NFL. He's tied for 10th in touchdown passes with 8, and he's tied for the second most interceptions in the NFL at 6. And so, if you're the Cowboys sitting there, you just paid Dak $60 million, you just paid CeeDee Lamb $34 million per year, and you're a Jerry Jones and you see that game at home, you're now sitting at 0-3 at home, said on here at ESPN for the first time since 2010. The Cowboys are in a very, very bad position, and I didn't think the Cowboys should have paid Dak Prescott. And do I think he's the only problem here? No. I do think he's one of the issues. He has not played good football this year. He has been much worse than he was last season. And I think that to pay him when he consistently loses in the playoffs, it's not all on him, but he hasn't been good in the playoffs. I thought it would be better just to maybe let the season play out, see how it goes. If it doesn't go well, you could potentially move on from him. I know it's risky, but at the same time, how long are you willing to stick with a guy who has not been able to lead your team to success? But Dak Prescott, I still think he's one of the he's not the biggest problem on this Cowboys team. He is one of the problems, but I'd say the biggest problem is the way this defense has played. Yes, they were without some players last game, a lot of players actually on defense, but it's not like they had been playing well, before this game or earlier in the season. The defense has been pretty terrible overall. They can't stop the run. They can't really stop anything. When you have the Lions put up 47 points at home, that's terrible. That's now 2 games where the Cowboys defense has allowed more than 40. The Saints put up 44 in week 2. The Lions put up 47, of course, this past week. And, you look at the Cowboys' 2 previous wins. They beat the Steelers, which is 20-17. They barely beat the Giants, 20-15. And so this is a team where going forward, it's I don't know how you can. You see what they did last year. They were one of the best teams in the regular season. They get upset in the postseason. And now it looks like that team we saw in the postseason is the real Dallas Cowboys right now. And looking forward, they are 3-3, so it's not like all hope is lost. It is still early in the season. But when you have a team where your defense is as bad as they've been, when you have an offense that can't run the ball, it's just I don't know where the Cowboys are going to go the rest of the season. You just gave a ton of money to the quarterback who's not playing well. You have to decide if you want to pay Micah Parsons after this season. And I think that the Cowboys are just in a spot right now where I really don't know what they can do to really take this team to another level. It feels like they need to completely tear up their defense. It's a tough spot for the Cowboys to be in. But if you want more NFL content, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.